So the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. SGPN is teaming up with Shady Rays for Shady May. Get 50% off your Shady Rays using promo code SGPN, and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. All right, D-Gens, welcome back. It's the PGA Championship Best Bet Show. It's your boy, Boston Capper. We've got it off Steve Schirmer, and very special guest that comes. I'm pretty sure you're on all the majors now. Pamela Maldonado from Yahoo. How are you?
I'm good. It is the PGA Championship. The course looked like it was going to be really hard, but then I saw a couple of interviews where the guys were like, no, it's actually kind of easy. So I'm interested to see what happens.
I mean, that would basically throw in about 3 hours of content I've done this week about how difficult it's going to be. I mean, it's in my backyard. It's 5 minutes away from me. So I'd be really upset if it's 20 under is the winning score. Please don't let that happen. But yeah, we have you on every show. I like the fact that we're pretty bad influences on you as far as first-round leaders and props and all this stuff. So always
Let's
great
just
to have you
say
back
not
there.
Bad influence. Just scratch out the word bad and just put influential.
Yeah. Influence.
Okay,
Exactly.
there you go. We are influencers on your bankroll there. Very good. So we'll get right to it. Being from Rochester, and anytime our town is connected to anything related to something, with professional sports, we go crazy. And for the last couple of months, it's been hammering in all our heads about how Rory married a girl from Rochester, and people are asking him about how this was his hometown course and if there's any good vibes. And, some people are actually kind of using that to justify maybe picking Rory this week, even though the fact he hasn't been very good. So are you kind of buying to that hometown narrative? Do you think coming back to Oak Hill where he kind of got the love of his life and everything, is that going to make him do well? Or do you think it's just one more thing where, he's got to think about some more pressures and he's going to fall flat?
I want nothing to do with Rory McIlroy. I am done. I am done. I retire.
Yes.
How many times have I bet on him this season? Like, this is it. He's going to find his way. He's going to figure it out. And then he misses the cut. I mean, come on. It's just at this point, I would believe, yes, you can look at all the data and you know that he's one of the best players in the world. But at some point, there's a huge mental block going on. And that's possibly what's going on with him right now. He has 2 missed cuts in his last 4 starts, and he's losing strokes in areas that he would never lose strokes on. So it's just with his iron play off the tee, maybe the putter is a little bit wonky, but that's always going to be up and down with any player. But once you start losing 3 strokes with your irons back-to-back tournaments, your head ain't right. And so he's just not somebody that I want to back right now. Just show me that you can finish in the top 20 first, and then we can talk about an outright.
So you almost bullied me into Rory at the Masters. You did. You badgered me on the show. You yelled at me. You said not nice things. And I almost made the bet. But we went on the Mothership podcast after, and I found out that he flew in the shrink that week for the Masters. And I was like, there's zero chance. I was like, no chance I'm betting on a guy who doesn't feel like he can make it through a golf tournament without having multiple sessions. That is red flag central.
Well, you've also seen it in tennis. So there's one player, a Greek player, Stefanos Tsitsipas, and he himself has a huge mental block. And he hired a mental coach to help him get through in some of these big time major tournaments. And he did well for literally one tournament. He took Novak Djokovic to 5 sets, and he has been downhill ever since. He can't win. But it's just at some point, it really does. And golf, anybody who plays golf knows, you can have all the skill set in the world. Golf is 80% mental, 20% physical. Your body is so in rhythm and it's going to hit its swings and hit its motions, but you have one mess up and then you're like, oh, well, maybe I misaligned myself. Maybe I need to tweak this. One little tiny adjustment throws off your entire game. Is that what's going on with Rory? Please prove me wrong, McIlroy, but I'm not convinced that he's somebody that I want to back right now.
Go ahead, Scott.
You basically just described my golf game right there, where if I hit one little miss hit, it's to the range and then air shots in the backyard. And then
all of a sudden you're trying to do a draw and you have no idea what that even means. And you're just like, I'm just going to try to do anything at this point.
When the best thing for me is to just take a week off and not swing a club, and then I'm reset and I'm fine, which is what I just recently did. So hoping to be a little better for when Capper comes to town. We play a little golf on Thursday there. So
Thursday, but golf is so mental. Like I'm a terrible golfer. Weekend hack, I enjoy it. I could get a text from the wife, or anybody can get a text from a significant other that just puts like, God damn it, like now I'm gonna feel rushed or like whatever. I could tell something is off at home, and like I'm just completely ruined for the whole round, like completely ruined. So I can't imagine that at like a million times pressure at a professional tournament. I can't.
But we also saw it. We were all saying the same narrative at the Masters that this is Rory McIlroy. He does so well in these big time tournaments, and he's the Masters. He owns it, and he has all these top tens. Where was it? He missed the cut. Like, like prove it first, because right now you're not on it, and that's okay. That's okay. His baseline, his worst day is a lot of players' best days. So there's nothing to like really like say negative about him. He's gonna find his form, just like Rahm. There for a little while, we're all talking about Rahm and how bad he was doing, and he can't do this, he can't putt, he's missing with stuff, and then he found his way in back to the winning circle. So it's gonna happen. These are the best players in the world for a reason. Just I'm not convinced it's gonna happen this week.
Yeah.
Well, cousin Mush wishes you a happy late birthday. When was your birthday?
It was on last Tuesday.
Oh, well, happy late birthday.
Very good. Happy late birthday there. So, all right. Well, why don't we transition to another guy who used to be known as kind of the most mentally strong player. Then he went through a little bit of a rut, but he might be back now. Brooks Koepka. And, kind of when you look about Oak Hill, where this thing's going to be right out in front of you, really demanding, narrow, tight, tree lined. And, it just seems like this might be kind of the course for him. Do you think possibly this is maybe where he picks up his fifth major, or do you think he's going to maybe like come short again?
I am not the Brooks Koepka whisperer. I don't know. I'm never really somebody that likes to back him, because for a really long time there, he was missing. He wasn't doing well in these major tournaments. Oh, he only shows up in majors, but does he? Because he kind of missed the cut there a couple times, and then he was outside of the top 50 when he was staying in. He just wasn't doing well, and I know that a lot of it has to do with that injury that he had, and now he obviously looks to be in full health, because after in the Masters he took T2, but before that he had won the Orlando event, and all of us are saying, well, it's the Live, and what's that really even mean? Well, obviously it means that he can come out and finish runner up in the Masters. So I mean, and he's been doing well looking at the Live stats. All we have are strokes gained total, and he has gained 5+ strokes in every tournament that he's played, a T2, a T11, a third, a fifth. So he seems to be fine, in full rhythm and in full health. So why wouldn't you want to back somebody like him?
I think with me, for Brooks, it's just the number. Like it's so short for somebody who I've seen play. But he played 2 good rounds in the Masters. Like he came runner up, but he wasn't So it's just a 20-1 or a 22-1, and then get all the public steam. I immediately want to run the other way when everybody's on a golfer, because picking a fucking outright is so difficult to begin with. And then if everybody is 100% sure, 0%, that guy's winning for the most part. There have been some community wins, but for the most part, the narratives don't come true unless, you're Matthew Fitzpatrick and you vacation somewhere near a golf course there. You always win. Whenever Matthew Fitzpatrick has spent some sort of childhood memory somewhere, you bet him, apparently.
I mean, it seems like, Koepka, out of all the Live guys, if I had to pick one, it would probably be Koepka. However, I'm just a number-based person, and I don't know what his numbers are. I don't know what +9 means, and what the green means for Live. You play 3 days, you play against 30 people, right. And these courses, have you seen the layouts? They're resort courses. They're super easy. You should be crushing these. Yeah. So I mean, if I had more information, I'd be able to make a better analysis. But right now, it's you kind of, like you said, if the odds are good, if you're getting anything at 20-1 or better, then sure, I would probably do that. But anything below 15, when there's this is such a strong field, and there are so many players that are about the same range who are doing well now, that you do have data that you can see, something tangible that you can read, I would probably go for those players instead.
Okay. I mean, as the resident Brooks whisperer, I will give a little bit of the case for Brooks. So I remember back before 2019, he won in 2019 at Bethpage Black. He played at Trinity Forest. The Byron Nelson there, not a good field. Everyone skipped that event. It was not good prep. Everyone was wondering why you go into the Byron Nelson at Trinity Forest that looks basically like Mars at this point compared to Bethpage Black. Ends up finishing T5, goes on to win. Listen, I try not to watch a lot of live events. I was following a little bit on Sunday. He kind of did some similar stuff in Oklahoma. A nice stress-free 65 final round, kind of got to a slow start, crescendo at the end. This is kind of just what he does, though, is he kind of just ends up getting some momentum, and then all of a sudden he just shows up at a next golf course and does well. So I expect him to do well this week. Again, I think the number is too short. I did not bet him outright. I heavily considered it because I love betting Brooks Koepka. A lot of happy gambling members of Brooks Koepka. But yeah, I think probably not going to win. But I think this golf course is set up for him. So I guess, before we get into some of our bets. So Pamela, what are some of the things you're looking for this week in a golfer?
Real quick before we do that, let's cut one of the ad reads out. Let's just knock it out, because we're past. So SGPN is excited to announce an exclusive early access partnership with Edge Boost, the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Similar to the buy now, pay later programs like Affirm and Afterpay, Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest and pay back the advance over 4 equal weekly installments. That's right, 0% interest. Simply deposit funds into your account at Edge Boost and we'll match the deposit so you can use 2 times the funds on any legal sports betting site. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in advances as you rebuild your payment or as you build your repayment history. With this special offer, the first 500 SGPN users will start with a $1,000 advance limit, and the next 2,500 will start with 500. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up today. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Must be 21 or older to use. Only valid in legal gambling states. Problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right.
Okay. All right. So listen, we got to pay the bills. So getting back to what I was asking you. So what are some of the things you're looking for this week as far as how you're making bets? Like any stats, any trends, any profile players? How'd you come to decide what's on your betting card this week?
So the way that I look at these courses that are rotating events, I look at photos, videos of the course, and the only thing that really stood out to me are the landing areas off the tee are really narrow. So I'm looking for more of a precision golfer. I know you can probably throw in like distance in there, but I really want somebody who's like, all right, I'm going to hit short of the bunker. I'm going to hit in this 10-yard spot right of the bunker. I'm going to hit whatever it is. I'd rather have a precision player rather than a distance player. So I'm looking for that accuracy off the tee, but I'm also looking for somebody who can get it out of the bunkers because those bunkers are wildly deep and those walls are steep.
Yeah.
Like I would be so happy if we see somebody do a little tumble turn down into that would be great entertainment because those bunkers are kind of like wicked. So I would like
Well, John Daly withdrew, so he would have been the odds-on favorite.
He would have been the obvious pick for that to happen. Exactly. So if you do end up in the bunker, looking at sand save percentage, but mostly I'm just looking for like approach play. Approach play is always going to be number one in these major tournaments. Just the all around player. The greens are really small, so somebody who can get up and down the green. Putting is always going to be something where it's like, oh yeah, look at it, it's bent grass. Okay, are you horrible on bent grass? Then I'll stay away. But if you're just like is a to par or a slightly better positive player on bent grass, sure, but mostly just like an overall player.
Right.
Okay. All right. They're good. Yeah. You hit on the accuracy point, and I think a lot of the prevailing there is all right. You got to be long here, and I think distance is going to help here, but a lot of the guys I bet this week have that combination of length and accuracy. I don't think you can spray it everywhere on this golf course. I don't think this is going to be a wing foot where you just got to hit it long at this point. I think there's areas of off the fairway that's really going to punish you. I think it's going to cause you to miss the green. And you're right. These greenside surrounds are so difficult. The bunkers, there's all these chocolate drop mounds and hummocks, tight collection areas. There's a lot of different types of approach shots you got to hit this week. It's not just, gouging out of the rough. You're right. I think short game's important this week. I think you got a good combination of length and accuracy. You got to be able to find fairways. And I mean, it's going to be hard for everybody to find fairways at this point because it's so narrow. It's so long. You got to hit driver a lot, but just that little edge, you'll see a theme with some of the guys I bet outright, as far as what they can do off the tee. So, all right. So who'd you?
Somebody was saying today that because of the shaved off areas and some of these, when you miss the green, you could roll like 40 yards away from the green if you miss.
That'd be fun.
Yes.
I'm so excited for shit like that. That's what makes me happy.
It's nuts, and it's like it's on different green. Like sometimes it's just all rough, and then other times it's like, oh man, they got this giant collection area. Like it's a very hilly property. It's going to be a really good time. You're going to really enjoy Cap.
That's what I'm going to really enjoy. That it's like, oh man, what a great shot! And rolls 50 feet away.
Yep.
Gonna get lots of the oohs as it starts to roll off.
Then you hear an F-bomb from Capper because that's one of the guys he bet that day. So
yeah, exactly. When we were at TPC this past year, was it this? No, it was the year before. We were following around Casey and Burns, and like Casey was like in the woods. I was standing next to like the ESPN person, and you could tell the boom mic's there, and I'm just talking like normal, like cussing, right? And I'm like, oh, this is probably on like ESPN app, and it's completely mute, and they have no idea why. They probably think the golfer's cussing, but it's just me.
There you go. All right. So who's the first guy in your outright card for this week?
Okay, so the way I do my separation is everyone that I bet as like either a top 20 or top 10, I'm taking them to win as an outright just because I feel these are my stronger players. But the two players that I as a fan want to see win and I believe can win, I'm going to go with a player that probably no one is going to like. The underrated player in my opinion is Tyrrell Hatton, just because he's not your typical Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler. He's not like the top 5 player that you think of who's going to win a major, but I have been spot on about who I think is going to win a tournament this season. All of the guys who I've been saying he's going to win, it's going to happen, it's coming, has come to fruition. Hatton is my last player. Well, one of 2 players that have yet to do it. But he's really good with his ball striking. And more so, I did get an opportunity to watch him at the Valero Texas Open. That was and he missed the cut. That was a horrible weekend for him. But it was also like 40-mile-per-hour winds. And ever since then, he's found his rhythm again. He's great off the tee. He's great with his iron plays, but better than most, he's really good around the green and he can navigate, and he's gained strokes around the green in 3 straight tournaments. He's actually a really good short game putter as well.
Yep.
So you combine the ball striking ability that he has with his short game capabilities. How is he not included at least for a top 20 option? You're getting plus 150 for him to finish in the top 20. He has 3 straight top 20s, back-to-back top 5s. I mean, he's just somebody that I'm like super high on, that he's going to win. I don't know if it's going to be this tournament. I would hope that it's this tournament because he has yet to win a major, but how sick would it be? He's definitely capable. He's one of the better players in my opinion.
Nothing would make me happier than Hatton winning. He is top. What do you think, Steve? Probably about top 3 of mine, if not definitely top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of your guys at this point, based on some of his antics on the golf course that you can certainly relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. He's incredible to watch. Like I'm definitely going to follow him a little bit on Friday, just because he's fun to watch. The only thing that worries me a little bit is and this could just be like a mental image of mine. Like he seems to not like getting out of bunkers. Was it the Valero? He smashed the bunker. I can't remember what tournament that was.
I mean, he's just a hothead. He's actually a good bunker player.
Is he? Okay, so maybe that's what I said. It might just be.
He's top 10 in 10 saves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, I love it. Yeah, listen, I love Hatton. What number did you get him at?
For an outright. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me look at my notes.
Probably like 40 to 1, 45 to 1, maybe
35.
Okay, that's around that ballpark. Yep. Yeah, Hatton was a guy. He checked a lot of boxes for me. Did not find his way on my card. Actually, I'm kind of regretting that a little bit because I mean,
he's on my card.
Great iron numbers, decent from long range. That's probably his weak spot of all this stuff. But good bentgrass putter, good scrambler. You know, he's got some length too. So maybe my hesitation was the fact that I don't know if he's going to actually like this golf course, and he has definitely had the reputation of if he doesn't like a place, he kind of checks out.
But hey, dude, he got 35th at the Masters after he said it was an unfair test and lit my money on fire in a matchup against Billy Horschel. Not that I remember that's from 2 years ago, right?
No, but that's exactly right. At the Valero, I even asked him directly, and I was like, "Okay, you sucked today. How do you feel about the Masters?" He's like, "Well, I sucked today." And then what happened? And then what does he ended up doing? Like it was a T34 finish, but
it was better than any other finish he's ever had.
It was better than any finish that he's had, correct? And the only reason why he lost strokes is because he he lost with his short game, which is something that is atypical for him.
Yep.
So, and then he bounced back in a big way, getting in 3 straight. So I think he's coming into this. I'm a huge believer in momentum, and he has a T3 and a T5. What's better than that?
Love it. Love it.
There you go. All right. Who else you bet outright this week?
Okay. Xander Schauffele.
Okay.
But he's just one of those players that he's never going to like thrill you with his numbers. He's not sparkly and new, but he's so consistent with his play. And there was only one period earlier in March where he was losing strokes off the tee. He's corrected that. And it seemed to have just been like a blooper, like, oops, I'm just like having an off week.
He was coming off an injury, I think.
Exactly. And now he seems to be back to normal form. But I mean, he has 6 straight top 20 finishes, 5 of which were in the top 10, 3 straight top 5s. The only thing I thought that he would end up winning the Zurich Classic with being partnered with Patrick Cantlay, but they both finished T4. And then what happens? Following week, last week at the Wells Fargo Championship, he takes solo second. So he's just coming into this with some really great form. Also a player that has never won a major, but he's come close. He finished runner-up in the 2019 Masters, 2018 Open. So he fixed the area, or he was coming back from an injury, the area that he needed to, which was off the tee. Now that that's corrected, he's also one of the better short game players, both good around the green and putting. So, and he has a really good history in some of these stronger field events. Does he have a couple of miscuts? Sure, all of them do. But he also has like a 14th place finish at the U.S. Open. Like he's consistently like in the top 20. He's always in the mix. And that's kind of what you want out of these strong field events, are somebody who, if you put yourself in the top 20, all it takes is like one good round to put yourself in the top 5 and be in contention. And that's Xander for me.
Yeah. So I think it was Andy said this. He's top 10 in 50% of his major starts, which is fucking absurd. Like that's crazy. That's awesome. Xander was. I had to choose between Xander and another guy on my card, and I chose the other guy, which means that you're in good shape with Xander.
Yeah, probably. And I did the same as well. I love Xander at the end. But I mean, listen, everything he talked about is correct. I like the fact that he fixed everything off the tee. Coming off from the injury, he actually drove it really well at Quail Hollow, not just with distance, but he had a lot of fairways too. Great long iron player, great around the green, great bad guy spotter. The case is very strong for Xander. So
why was he left off of both of your cards?
So
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, you'll see why, because you'll see. I had room for literally like one guy other than and a long shot. That's it.
It's not like you guys to like leave players off. You're usually like, hold on, let me get yep.
Yeah, no, listen, typically that's correct, right? But just like the Masters, like when I didn't bet Rory, I ended up betting Rahm, and that only gave me, like, realistically, I overexposed myself and gave, like, I think I took 2 guys under 30-1, and I took like a long shot. Typically it's only one guy like under 30-1 for me, the way I structure my card, if I take a favorite.
Yeah. So I have a different strategy. I kind of really don't look at odds. It's like if I like a player, I don't look at odds until the very last thing. I look at every single player first, and then I'm like, okay, who's doing well recently, and then how do you, like for this tournament specifically, and then how have you done in these strong field events? Great. How are you on bent grass? Great. Literally the very last thing that I look at is odds. And it's only because, okay, now I have to do my content. What are the odds? So it really helps to, I prefer that method for me, because I think you all are coming into this with a little bit of bias. Like, oh, the odds aren't very good. So automatically you eliminate them from like your vocabulary, essentially, because you're dissuaded by the odds. If you do it last, you're looking at it purely from like an objective standpoint. Maybe it's a more fresh opportunity.
Yeah,
Pamela, why are you trying to fuck my betting process up? Why? What are you trying
I am
to do?
helping.
Yeah, helping. There's no such thing as helping me, okay?
She's giving back to us after we've given her the first round leader. So
like, well, listen, Steve, the reason why
get out of her head
I have 19 guys on my outright card is because I didn't look at the odds first. I like these 17 guys first.
Pam said,
there you go. Hey, listen, Xander's the fine pick. He's somewhere else on my betting card this week, so I full endorsement. If he wins, I'll get a little money out of it. So, all right. Anybody else on your outright card?
Other players that I do like for outrights would be Patrick Cantlay. I'm hesitant to put him as like a strong, like strong conviction for him to win as an outright, just because he did lose a couple of strokes there coming off the Wells Fargo Championship. I like players coming into this with momentum rather than like, oh, I had an off day. But it's just that he had an off day. But I do believe that he's done better with these stronger field events where he never used to really contend. He had a lot of missed cuts, but he's had back-to-back, like he took T14 and T8 in the US Open, the Open Championship. In the Masters, he had a T14 as well. So I think he's kind of corrected a bit of that, but it's because his ball striking as of late, he's so good. He's like top 5, top 10 in the field for his ball striking abilities. And it's just a matter of whether he do something with the putter. And if he does, he's going to win a tournament. He's also one of those players. It's the two players that I said are going to win this season are Terrell Hatton and Patrick Cantlay. They're going to win this year. It's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to, I don't know if this is the tournament for him, but he's not necessarily known for his driving distance, but he does have it. But he is accurate off the tee and he's good with the short game. And he's just kind of a good all around player. And he's playing great as of late. It's just the only hesitation that I have is that he lost strokes with his irons, which is supposed to be his best part last week at the Wells Fargo. But other than that, he's stellar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I maybe give you a little comfort on that. So before he won the Zozo back in 2020, he lost strokes with his irons, and then the following week he won. So it is possible he can turn around pretty quick.
Well, there you go. And he's also one of the shorter player odds. 18-1 is what I grabbed, but I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah. No, I think that's.
I'll explain it. I'll explain him here in a minute.
There you go.
All right. Listen, before we get to, she said she was. Are you done with the outrights?
One more. I got 4 outrights. Sung JM.
Okay.
All right.
Is anybody talking about him? I feel like he never gets any type of attention whatsoever any day of the week. Any tournament.
He does, especially on this podcast.
I think he's fantastic. I think he's perfectly suited for a tournament like this. It's 35-1 for his outright odds. But I mean, strokes gained total, he's kind of having a really like under the radar stellar pretty like year. I mean,
hell yeah.
He has a T6, a 17th, a 16th, a T7, a 6, and an 8th. Like he is doing really freaking well. And it's because the part of his game that he always does well in, which is his irons and putting. Hello. What is needed for this course? Irons and putting. Are you doing at least pretty, say, neutral or gaining a little bit off the tee? That's him. Like and he does well on bent grass, and he does extremely well. He's top 40 in the top. What is it? I need glasses now in my eyes. He's top 30 in the field for some of these more difficult courses, but he's just like a very composed player, and he's playing so consistent. So I love that you're getting plus money for him as a top 20. And like I said, if I'm betting somebody in the top 20, I'm gonna also take them as an outright.
I like it.
There you go. I mean, listen, he also, and this was news to me on Monday, he apparently went to Korea last weekend and played a tournament and won that thing.
And won. Yeah.
And won. So, I mean, on one hand, I'm like, all right, he won a tournament. I know he's actually capable of winning after I've sunk hundreds and hundreds of dollars into outrights and him that have just failed and blow up my face. But on the other hand, what's he doing flying to Korea on the week 4 major and coming back? I mean, that's my only concern, but otherwise your case is really strong for Sanjay.
Remember, like I felt like he played 90% of the weeks, like the first 2 years.
You never worry about fatigue with him because I think it was like last year or the combined last 2 seasons, he never took a day off. He doesn't know what that means. It was like, I must be here work.
Like I got to stack this cash before I got to go serve in the fucking military.
There you go. All right, why don't we take a quick break and then we'll go over who Capper and I bet outright.
All right, sounds good. Well, listen, Shady Rays is teaming up with SGPN for Shady May, so not only you get an amazing 50% off, but you also get a chance to win $500. They got you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays have durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements, meaning if you break or lose a pair, even on day one, they told us they send you a brand new pair, no questions asked, so you can wear your Shady Rays with confidence. If you don't love them, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back, and for our international listeners, Shady Rays got you covered as well. We're shipping to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. So go to shadyrays.com and use code SGPN for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Then take your receipt to sportsgamepodcast.com/shady for your chance to win $500 on the Shady Make contest.
There you go. And then this Friday, just another reminder that myself, Boston Capper, Andy Lack, and Brian Kershaw, we're all going to Big O Driving Range, their Top Tracer bays. We're going to be having a little bit of a event, a little meet and greet, maybe a live show. We can get that all figured out. A long drive contest. There's beer and wine there. I'll provide some food. It'll be a good time. So if you want to come hang out with us after the second round of the PGA Championship from 7 to 9 p.m., come to Big O Driving Range. Come over to bays 1, 2, and 3. That's where we'll all be. Come hang out, have a couple drinks, talk about the tournament. We'll throw out some bets. It'll be a good time. So we hope to see you there.
I didn't even think about this. So I can download an app when I get there, get a bonus as long as I cash out before I leave the state of New York, right?
You can. Yeah, you can open up an account, dude. Oh boy. there are, I think, 8 legal books that you can choose from up here. So there you go. Use up all those bonuses.
Yes, sir. All right.
There you go. And no bookies that are going to chase you down either, because once you hit 0, then you're done.
Yeah, that's fair. That has been a problem in the past for me. And present.
All right, Capper. Who's on your outright card then?
Super short and sweet. Listen, I'm taking Jon Rahm. He's the best golfer on the fucking planet. And if this is a course fit for Rory, give me the golfer who is better than Rory and does all the things Rory does. The only thing that worries me, other than the shitty 8-1 that I took, but I'm sick of losing my money to the top of the market. I took him at the Masters. It worked out. I know there's only been like 3 golfers who've won the first 2 majors. Who was it? Spieth, Nicklaus. Those are like 2 more, right, Steve? This is the stuff you should.
Not sure, but I know Brooks won 2 in a row recently.
But
right.
I think it was like the first 2 is how they couched it. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Listen, he's the best golfer on the planet. I know he hasn't played the last 2 weeks. He can do whatever he wants off the box. He's amazing iron player. His around the green has improved since he had the yips last year. And I definitely, they're not undulating, but he should kill these greens. He loves bent grass, and it's 8-1. I didn't want to trust Scotty with the wonky putter, and I don't trust Rory mentally right now. And I legitimately think that like 10 guys can win this tournament. So I'm sticking with my boy Rahm.
That's it. That's single bullet.
Oh, no. So yeah, I bet. So just in case, I thought you were going to come back with one. So I got Cantlay at 20 to 1. Okay. I'm going to take the cheese again. I do this once a year with Cantlay at the majors, but like Pamela said, his last 2 majors have been good. He is at least not hit the ejecto button and has absolutely sucked ass. He is. See, tell me if I'm wrong. He's the best bent grass putter on the planet. Yes.
I mean, other than Cam Smith.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Fitzpatrick's pretty good too.
All right, we don't count.
Yeah, I mean, those guys. Of everybody, I got them all. It's him, Spieth, Fitzpatrick, and Cam Smith, and actually Rahm. All are just killing on bent grass.
Yep. He's great with his long irons, and from the 5 to 10 foot putt range, he's on bent. He's 3rd in this entire field. So when we're going to be if it does play hard and you're going to be needing to make these pars, you're going to have these knee knockers from 5 to 10 feet to make it. Give me Cantlay and his horrible routine and his stupid tongue and his vanilla personality. I can see it happening. And I thought 21 was a good number, and he hadn't shifted yet. And Xander shifted to 16. And I was like, all right, I'll take Cantlay over Xander. That's why I think your bet is safe, Pamela, because I was debating between those last 2, and the number put me on Cantlay instead of Xander. And then my last one, 110 to 1, Keegan Bradley. No explanation needed. I will bet him in the Northeast. He's my boy. Fuck you guys. I don't love him. He's going to win.
All right, there you go. All right.
110 to 1.
All right, I'll go over the order in which I bet these guys because my final card didn't happen until this morning. So, so I've been sitting on Cantlay 24 to 1 for about a month now. Right after the Masters, after he got into contention there, I recognize what Pamela said and what you just said. When guys start getting in the mix in these majors, you saw it last year with Fitzpatrick, Cam Smith. It tends to kind of come soon after, and I think Cantlay's time is coming. I think it's really building up for this week's PGA to get the win. I mean, one of the things I said at the top of the show, the length and accuracy, he has one of the best combinations of that in the field. He hits so many fairways. He's really long too. I'm not worried about him not being able to, get lagged behind, some of the, big drives this week. Decent long iron player, not awesome, but he's still pretty good, but great around the green, great bunker player, great bentgrass putter too. I just think I think it's going to be time for him. I think he's going to be a major winner. 24-1, I can't lay.
Love it.
And then I sided with Tony Finau. I'm not really sure. Not really sure why. Because look, he doesn't win, right?
He does win. He just doesn't win big boy tournaments.
Well, he looks really good from everything I'm looking for. So hits it a long ways. He was struggling off the tee for a little bit, but I remember he made a swing change back at Kapalua where he's tried to hit a fade. And all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, it's been really good. And one of the things I said on my previous show, I think he got to hit a power fade here. And he's been hitting those really good lately. The long iron play is excellent with him. He's really good around the green, good bunker player, good on a lot of these tougher, narrow, thick, rough golf courses too. And you know what? Look, people want to knock the fact that he's won weaker events. Well, in Mexico, he went toe-to-toe with Jon Rahm and beat him. How's that? At Detroit last year, he beat Cantlay, beat Cam Young. Those guys are all in the mix there. Beat Cam Smith and Rahm again, head-to-head. So the guy is tough. He's been within 5 of the lead 9 times last 2 years, converted for wins on 5 of them. Yeah. So the guy, and you know what? I'm not gonna call a guy who basically grew up with nothing and in poverty not tough either. The guy.
Tony Finau. No. Listen, Tony's the most lovable guy in the tour. His kids are great. His wife is awesome. He's a great dad. Like that Netflix special, I already like Tony, and I have to watch it. That was basically the only good thing to come out of that Netflix special was Brooks breaking down and me feeling bad for Brooks when I never felt bad for him because he's such a frat bro. And then look into Tony's life, man. He has perspective. He knows what's important and what's not. Yep. And man. I would be super fucking happy if Tony took this down.
Yeah, so I got a good number of him at the beginning of the week at 29-1. It's now down to 20 or so, but I'm just gonna bet it. And then I made a decision. Because usually in this spot, I usually go Xander in this point. I think at the Masters, I had Xander, Cantlay, Finau too. And you mentioned to me that you were going to electrocute me if I bet Xander again at a major. And that was ringing.
No, you told me to do that. I didn't threaten you to do that. You told me to do that.
Judge,
I swear.
And listen, if this is going to be Cold Takes Exposed, I just think he's a second place guy. Especially it's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. And I know he looks really good in the stat page. I like him a lot this week. I have another bet on him, but it just getting the job done at a major. So you know who I went with?
Come on.
And listen, this is my hometown event. This is reckless. I shouldn't be going this low down the card here. I can't go into this major saying the guys who hit power fades have an advantage and not have Jon Rahm on my card. So
let's go, baby.
8-1. He's my one and done pick. Spoiler alert till later. I just think this golf course sets up so well for him. He's got the complete game. Everything is on point. I love what he said in the press conference. He sounded confident. He sounded like this thing is going to, intimidate him. Great bentgrass putter. Screw it. Let's go.
Do it.
Rahm.
Let's go.
8-1.
Love it.
There you go. All right. That's the record. Any reactions to that, Pamela?
He's a second place. I mean, you're a second place player until you're not.
That's true.
If you're not first, you're last.
Remember, we were saying that a lot about Tony Finau, that he's always the bridesmaid and never the bride. And now he's all of a sudden on this run. So I mean, it's gonna happen for these guys. It's just they just have to get over a little bit of a mental hump. It's always about the fourth day. How low can you contend on that? And we've seen it from Rahm. I'm more of a wait and see with Rahm instead of taking him as an outright right now. You're getting him at 8-1. Remember all those opportunities that you had to take him on the second round, the third round, even on the fourth round when he's something like 8 behind from the lead and he comes back in some miraculous fashion, and you're highly more likely to get a better number on Rahm after day 1. So that's my strategy with him.
So as you say that, he double bogeyed the first hole at the Masters after I already bet him outright. I think I got him at, I think it was 10-1. Or 9.5, one or the other. And so I went immediately. All right, he double bogeyed. Let me see what I can get. It was 11. The books are
It's still number. It is still a better number.
I know.
So
but
here's the other thing.
With normally, what they're doing with golf numbers lately.
Normally, I totally agree with that assessment. The problem is because it's PGA Championship week up here in Rochester. I'm entertaining people. I'm going golfing Friday afternoon.
You're not going to be able to.
I'm going to be at the golf course Friday, Saturday. I'm just not going to be able to at this point. And I think John Rahm's going to win. So
love it.
Put that on the card. See what happens. All right. So you mentioned you have, let's move on to top 10 and 20 props for you, Pamela. So you mentioned you already had Hatton. You backed it up with a top 20. Did you back up Xander with a top 10 or 20 too?
I did, because for Xander, you're still getting minus 120 for him to finish in the top 20. And I think that's a very fair price for a top 20 option. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I'm going to bet him top 10 because that's where you get plus money. I'm conservative. 120 is a damn fair price for a top 20 in a field that is this strong. So I'm going to stop there with Xander. I don't like to take top 10s unless it's somebody that I'm just like so freaking convinced on. And typically that's like Scotty Scheffler right now. Or like last week I took Hatton as a top 10 option. But yeah, I like top 20 options this week. So for my top 20s, I went ahead with Xander and my two outrights, Terrell Hatton and Xander. Because you're getting plus 150 for Hatton in the top 20.
I know.
So that kind of balances out right there.
Yeah. So I joined you with Xander. I got minus 125, but I also took him top 10 because of that 50% clip that he's hitting at. His game is in such good shape. He does everything well. So it's tough for me to see him not excel here. And I got plus 190. So almost 2-1. It's fine. Like I don't typically do the top 10 market either, but I'm also terrified of the fact that I left him off my outright card. That I dipped into the top 10 market. But I'm with you. I'm with you on Hatton as well. I got him at plus 150 for all the reasons that you love Hatton. I also love Hatton. I guess you want me to just run through the rest of my bullshit.
Yeah, sure you can.
All right. So I got Sanjay M at plus 135 for everything that you said about Sanjay. Like, I mean, top 20, like 100%. I can typically not get behind him to win because I still can't shake the moniker of knucklehead that either Steve or I gave him. I don't know, 2 years ago.
I think that was me.
Yeah, because he always used to do something fucking stupid. We'll be texting back and forth when we go to him outright. He'll be in the bunker and we're like, why does he have a 3-wood? What is he doing? Why doesn't he just punch out? What's happening?
It's 2:30 over the water. What are you doing here?
He's playing chess, not checkers, guys. Come on.
And then he puts it in the drink and goes double bogey, and there goes the outright card.
Yep.
But top 20, love it. And then so some of the longer shots, Steve, you're gonna fucking hate this so much, but I'm going Griot because it's 8-1. It's 8-1.
Okay,
he's playing really well.
I don't mind Griot this week.
All right.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna yell at me.
No, I'm not gonna yell at you.
I like Griot in super soft fields.
Yeah, I mean,
look, he's second at Bethpage once upon a time.
Yeah,
like 10 years ago.
It's fine. He's actually, I feel like he's longer now than he used to be. I mean, Wells, he T23, RBC was a really strong field. T7, Mexico, not a strong field, but still T5. He's good on approach. For whatever reason, he putt now. He's a little shaky with the long irons, but it's 7-1 for a top 20. Like, yeah, listen, those are the type of bets that I like. Like, I try to balance them out with like what I believe is like a hedge with like a Xander at 125. That's how my broken brain works, Pamela. I'm like, a top 20, that's fucking guaranteed. Like that is already cash in. That one's already cashed. But I took some of the I took Cantlay at minus 115 for top 20 as well. And then Keegan 3-1 because it's Keegan. And then HV3, my boy, is back. I fucking love HV3. He's long. He's playing well on live, and it's 5.5-1. So whatever. If he hits or Griot hits, it covers all my shit for at least the placements. So I'll be happy with that.
There you go. Pamela, you mentioned Cantlay and Sanjay. Do you have anything on them as well?
Yeah, so I'm like I said, conservative. So top 20 is on all of them. Patrick Cantlay, you're getting minus 115 for a top 20. Sungjae M, you're getting plus 130 for a top 20. Terrell Hatton plus 150, and then Xander minus 120. So I think those are all very fair numbers, and I'm not interested in doing top 10s this week. The only player that I would have done only players that I would have done would have been either John Rahm or Scotty Scheffler. But you're paying juice for them to finish in the top 10, and that's just of no interest to me. So
no bueno.
So they're just not going to end up on my card this week simply because the odds are complete garbage. And can either one of them win? Absolutely. Scotty, if he's even just like a neutral putter, he can win this tournament. But I just believe that there's other players who are more well balanced, and I'd rather take a shot with.
Okay.
Pamela, our cards are terrifyingly similar for you.
That's got to be a good thing.
It is. It's a good thing. I had a decent week last week, but the week prior was possibly my worst golf week ever. So at least it wasn't that last week. Like what fucking tournament was it?
It was Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo was the worst for me.
I will also say to the one guy on my Twitter who said, "When was the last time you hit an outright? Do you know how difficult it is to hit an outright?" And I will have you know that I hit 3 in like a 4-week span. So yeah, like you're not expected. If you are betting the PGA, anybody who's watching this, if you are betting the PGA, you are not expected to hit an outright consistently. It is very difficult. This is why I always say, do the top 20s, because you're more often than not still getting a fair minus 110 price or better, like you do in any other bet, like an NFL, a basketball, whatever. And then you sprinkle a little bit on an outright, because it's very difficult to win a golf tournament, especially on a course. I know that's rotating course, and the weather changes 4 days, all 4 days. So it is difficult. And you, as somebody who maybe doesn't,
difficult.
if you're not studying, if you're not doing your own handicapping for these PGA events, don't expect for the people you follow to be hitting an outright every week either.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not hitting 3% probabilities at a consistent rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can I take a guess? Did this guy's profile picture on Twitter, was he wearing like Oakleys and have maybe like a grayish?
It was probably
beard?
one of those like blank didn't have photo ones, but it's like like you're the way you make money in the PGA is with your head to heads. That's always been the case. I've always said that. This is why I put my focus on it, and those crush top 20s. Those do really well. This is why I personally avoid top 10s, because there's nothing more soul crushing than your player finishing T11 because he missed a putt on day 4. Like,
you'll go back to like the Thursday bunny that he missed. Oh,
you go back. Why didn't you make that on your opening round, buddy?
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah, I don't usually do the top 10s, but just because it's a special week for me up here, I added a couple.
For you, absolutely. You're there.
I just think. And maybe this is because of the fact that I'm just scared that I'm just way too ambitious about Tony Finau, but top 10 on Finau plus 225. I just think he's going to play well this week.
All right.
I just like that. And then listen, Mr. Second place himself, Xander Schauffele, coming second. You cash a top 10 at plus 180 for me. So there we go. So
those are only probably even find. So what are those? The exactas, like, or the two? Like you can probably even do Xander Schauffele exactly second.
My heart swelled so much when you just said that. You can do those exactas on the golf. You weren't even doing first round leaders back in the day.
There we go.
And now you're like,
there we go.
Now you're giving out horse bets for fucking golf tournaments. Love it.
There we go. So as far as my traditional top 20s, I found a few of these that, I mean, it's a strong field, but I found some plus money that I'm not getting dead heated on either, on just a couple of guys who are just made for PGA Championships. How about Justin Thomas, top 20 plus 125? He came out today, said he really liked the golf course. Just a guy who just,
of course,
does
they're
really
going to
well.
say that every week.
What's that?
They're going to say that every week. What are they going to say? I hate this course.
Yes, they absolutely will. You hear them whining, complaining, this course is too hard. And that's why like certain tournaments set it up for them, because they're a bunch of little fucking country club babies.
I mean, I believe it. And when I listen to the full choir, I believe that it actually is like, all right, this is something I can do. Good on top golf course, great around the green, good long iron player. I think some of his ball strength is starting to come back a little bit. And he just has a really good track record on some of these narrow tree lined thick rough golf courses. So there's him. Brooks kept the top 20 plus 150. Again, another guy who just seems like he's made for PGA Championships. I think I really like him for this golf course, especially he can hit that power fade over and over. Another guy can hit power fade who also showed some form, and maybe this can be a little bit of a run. How about Dustin Johnson, top 20 plus 165? Again, another guy who just really thrives in these setups. I don't think he's done. I think he's, I think he can do very well this week. Yeah, it's DJ. Like, you know, he turned on like a light bulb, and I think he's gonna have a much better showing than he did at the Masters. And you know what? Listen, a mea culpa. I kind of poo-pooed Matthew Fitzpatrick last night on the show, but listen, you know, with what his game is now compared to what the stuff I was looking at before, he's longer off the tee, pretty accurate. His long iron play is pretty good, really good around the green, really good bent grass putter, good in tough scoring conditions. So why not Fitzpatrick top 20 plus 165 at this place? I think that's perfectly reasonable too.
Boo, hiss, boo. Boo,
I know. Well, listen, we're gonna follow him, and you got your two boys, Cam.
I'm
Smith.
not. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, Cam and Rom, and then you can heckle Fitzpatrick for his sketches and braces.
I'm not gonna heckle anybody. I don't want to get kicked out of the tournament.
You're not gonna get kicked out. Did you hear what happened in 2013? Here, anything goes. You're fine. All right. You're just gonna be a CMS with stuff that's getting thrown out.
Why would you ever tell me that?
Because it's like a lot of things I tell you that just put little things, ideas in your head. So, all right, Pamela, do you have any like top 40s at all this week?
Oh yeah, only one. I took one top 30, just because I think that it's like a fair number as well. Ricky Fowler. So for him to finish in the top 40 is minus 120, and I earlier just talked about how I think that's a fair price. But for him, I really do believe that plus 150 for a top 30 is like extreme value, because Fowler, I believe he has the capability to finish in the top 10. And so now you're getting 20 extra spots as cushion. But I mean, he is just having a fantastic 2023 season. And maybe I'm a little bit biased because I got to follow him at the Valero Texas Open, and I just really love where his game is at right now. I remember watching him last year, and I was like, why are you changing your swing? What is happening? Like, you used to be so good, and now you're just like a complete mess. But he has just like his swing right now is just so fluid and smooth, and he's playing with confidence, and he's still able to just like go out there. Like, nothing is phasing him right now. And it's showing in his numbers. Like, he has not missed the cut this season after missing the cut in more than half of the tournaments that he played last year. And so like, he is just like, his iron play right now, it really is just like so smooth and it's fluid. And that's what you want from a player, especially in the top 30. That's what you're looking for, is a player that can control his swing, and his swing is so much more controlled now than it used to be. His off the tee game, you know, he's maybe not as strong in that area, but he's a really good short game player. He's solid around the green, and he can putt. And he's finishing top 20 in almost every tournament that he plays in right now. Yes, this is a stronger field, but he's been in the mix before. And I just believe that his comeback, we still haven't seen him peak yet. But we're starting to see him get to that.
I want to see Ricky. I want to see Ricky win at some point this year.
I don't know if a win is ever going to, like, I don't know if.
Yeah, he's going to
win. If y'all are talking about Xander being a second place player, like, I kind of feel like I have yet to ever take Ricky as an outright, and I've been putting it as my reason. Like, I don't think he's a winning player now. Which is why I'm backing him only in the top 20. And it's rare that I do that, where I back somebody only in the top 20, top 30 market and not take him as an outright. But I just don't think that he has that capability yet. But he's showing signs that he can get there.
Yeah. I think if he starts scheduling and playing some of these softer field events that his best friends aren't at, he go to the John Deere and go boat race those guys, dude. Go get a victory. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that'll come first. Like, I don't think he's gonna win a major before he plays
I mean, and he has like, I know that the PGA Championship is a rotating course tournament, but I mean, he has really strong PGA Championship history.
Yep.
So I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know what it is about that separates it from the other big time tournaments.
Setup.
But I mean,
it's the setup.
So I think that he has, multiple top 15 finishes straight. He has a really good short game. He's improved his off the tee stats from compared to like even earlier this year. Like, I'm really just so high that we have yet to see the best of him, and it's coming.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good. All right, so I found a couple of top 40s on just some guys like. Listen, I could have had the Griots. I could have had the HV3s. I just think with this golf course, it's going to be no nonsense this week. And I found some top 40s and some guys who I think are uber talented, who have a lot of things, some pedigree, some toughness. That's what I tried to do with my card this week. How about Joaquin Neiman top 40 plus 125? Really long off the tee, pretty straight, starting to play a little better on live. Pretty good on some classic golf courses like Olympia Fields, did well at Winged Foot, good at Torrey Pines. I think all those types of golf courses are pretty similar to what this place is going to be. And I get plus odds on a guy I think is uber talented. I'll take that. Capper, it's a good thing you're coming to New York because this was on a New York book. How about Shane Lowry top 40 plus 135?
He scares me with the putting.
He
man.
scares you with the putting. That's your boy. I thought you would love that pick.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Well, I mean, listen.
It is a top 40. I get my brain doesn't even like when you said that. My brain heard top 20 because I have literally never been able to bet a top 40 in my life.
He's not just good. He's not just bad with his putting though. He's like terrible with his around the green game too.
He's a pretty good bunker player though.
He's a good bunker player.
So then you're hoping that he hits in the bunker because around
what I'm relying on, I'm hoping the fact that he's really long and accurate off the tee and pretty good long iron player too. I'm hoping for a lot of made greens this week out of Shane Lowry. So, and he won a place like Firestone. I know that was decades ago, but that was one of the courses I looked at this week. So Shane Lowry, top 40 plus 135. Then how about a guy who doesn't really fit any of the model of what I'm looking for as far as like a longer, accurate hitter, but he's just really good around the green, great putter, tough, scrappy guy. How about Patrick Reed, top 40 plus 140, winner at Bethpage Black, winner at Torrey Pines. The fact that he just breaks the model at all these places, good at wing foot at that U.S. Open where, listen, you had to be a bomber and he was right up there, 36 hole leader. I love that bet this week.
I still might add him top 20. I have
a question mark next to him because
he's doing very well on live. And he did well in the Masters too. Like he still has
he came in fourth, right?
Yeah,
was it fourth in the Masters?
He was great on Sunday.
He put that little seed in my brain last night, and I was like, "Fuck me, I'm going to end up betting Reed."
Yeah,
I didn't pull the trigger yet today, but we'll see.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll show you the way on some of these New York books how to bet Reed this week. Pamela, how about any tournament props? Anything, nationalities, score, anything like that?
I haven't gotten that far ahead into research. I do have are we on head-to-heads yet?
Yeah, do matchups. What you got?
Yeah, we do head-to-heads. Sure. What's the first one you got that you want to throw out this week?
Well, it was a player that you mentioned, and it's Matthew Fitzpatrick, minus 130 over Cam Smith. Now, betting against Cam Smith is a bit of a weird one because, yes, it's live, and like I just mentioned, we don't really have data. But if you go back to what he used to be really good at, he has a really good short game. Well, now you're going up against somebody like Matthew Fitzpatrick, who has a great ball striking ability and a good short game. So I just really like, and you mentioned it earlier, how he's kind of just become like a better off the tee player as of late. He seems to put his irons back into play now he had a really rough start to the year, and now he seems to be back to where we used to be and maybe even a little bit better. He's one of the best putters on bent and grass surfaces. Granted, Cam Smith does well too, but he's consistently gaining strokes in his short game in every tournament that he plays, even when he was struggling with his iron play. And all we have of data for Cam Smith is strokes gained total, and he seems to be doing well in that regard. But I just believe that Matthew Fitzpatrick is he's playing in these type of field events. He's consistently getting better. He's corrected or improved on an area that he was lacking in his game previously. I just really like him this week, as I liked him initially as a top 20, and I was like, well, let me just put him in a head-to-head instead.
Okay. All right. I don't bet head-to-heads because I've been ice cold for about a year and a half. I only do positionals at this point. But if I was going to bet, here's some ones that you guys can fade. So how about Tommy Fleetwood minus 110 over Sam Burns? I don't think, even though Sam Burns has the length, I think he just sprays it all over the ballpark. Mm-hmm. Not a good long iron player. I know he's really good around the green, a good putter, but I just think if you're hit it all over the map, I think that's going to be a disadvantage for him. And then I got Fleetwood at minus 110 over him. I do solid, consistent ball striking. Iron play has been really good for him. Pretty good around the green too. Great bunker player. Give me a little more complete player in Fleetwood over a guy like Sam Burns, a little volatile for me.
Like it.
Okay. Capper, what about you? What's your first one?
My first one was the easiest bet for me of the week. It was Finau over Victor Hovland, minus 130.
Okay.
He's shit out of the bunkers, shit around the green. He's a good putter, and obviously, listen, he absolutely has a round, maybe even two, where he hits a bazillion greens right in one round. But he fades on Sundays. And I like Finau a lot. I was looking at him for an outright too. And yeah, I just don't believe in Vic. And I know you talked about, if everybody's struggling around the greens, then maybe the pack will come back to him. That logic doesn't just work. It doesn't work for my brain. Like you still suck. Like you're still going to hit it 8 feet past where the other guy put it to 3 feet. So it it doesn't negate his shittiness.
That is some strong analysis right there. He's shit.
There you go. Well, listen,
like 80-year-old man sitting on the front porch getting mad at the kids driving too fast.
Well, look, I made that point before you showed me something that, listen, Hovland has been the type to actually go down the wrong fairway to try to get an angled hole. Apparently, they're putting internal OB on a couple of holes to prevent a guy like doing that. So you know what? He's out. They took away his best strategy. So
I know, but he like just statistically too. He's just so bad. He's just so bad, and like I can't do it. Like like I said,
he's got some steam today. By the way, I've seen some people picking Hovland.
Listen, I guess
people pick Hovland every week, and they're just throwing darts.
He is a darling of the community. So, all right, Pamela, let's go back to you. What's your second matchup you like?
The second one that I like is one of the players that. So I've kind of been doing this lately more often than not, which is surprising to me. But I mean, if the matchup works, and it's taking somebody that I like for a top 20 or an outright and putting them in the head-to-head, and it's Tyrrell Hatton minus 150 over Max Homa. And I know that Homa had like a really good start there, maybe to the season. But I mean, I love Tyrrell Hatton, how he's playing now. And Homa has kind of fallen off. He has back-to-back miscuts at the RBC. And then, the Zurich, we're not really getting counted against him. And though he did do well last week with T8 at the Wells Fargo, I just think that Hatton is the better iron player, better around the green player, and more consistent. And that was kind of more, in my opinion, of kind of like a fluke type of play, rather than him doing well. But he's consistently, Homa is somebody that consistently loses strokes off the tee. His irons are kind of a hit or miss. He really is just like, what are you going to get this week? And so I'm going with the more consistent player, and that's Hatton.
Okay.
That was funny. I looked at that one, but I couldn't pull the trigger because this is where the odds also hurt me. Like I look at it and I considered him outright, like when I was fucking around on Monday, because it's like, man, fucking 40-1 for Burns. I was like, this guy actually wins. Like what are we doing? And then I ended up writing it off, but then I look at the matchup and it's one of the ones where I'm literally like scrolling and I just like freeze. I look for a while and I'm like, if I got to look this long, no. And I just pass. I just pass off.
And also, if you look at Homa and how he does in these stronger field events, he doesn't do well. He has more miscuts than he does top 20s. He has only like 2 top 20s in his last like 10 starts of like these strong field events where it's a super strong field. And he had like 5 miscuts there in a row. I mean, he missed the cut at the Open Championship, and he's just not somebody that I would take for. It's just always going to be, you're a West Coast player, now you're going way east.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, he's got to get over the hump at this point. I'm kind of getting a little impatient with Max Homa at this point. Because, I mean, like, listen, he's won Torrey Pines and Riviera, but then he shows up to the Masters, he stinks. He shows up to a lot of these majors, it kind of stinks. So, yeah, he's got to start getting going with that. All right, so my second matchup, I like how the books sometimes give out these Spider-Man meme matchup, just 2 guys who are exactly the same. And that's a guy who I just talked about, Shane Lowry. He's paired up against Corey Connors this week. Great ball strikers. Horrible putters. So the tiebreaker for me, though, is that Lowry is just a little bit better around the green, a lot better bunker player. Connors is horrible around the green, too. He's a complete mess right now. And Connors doesn't have a lot of length, too. So with these narrow fairways, if he's off a little bit, like that's a world of trouble for him. So I'll take Shane Lowry plus 100 over Corey Connors.
Oh, nice. Even money?
There you go.
I'll look for that one.
All right. Capper, what's your second one?
So I double checked this one because I bet it when I saw it, but I think it's off the board now. But I'll say it anyway. So I took Decky over Spieth. I was targeting him because of his injury. Plus, I didn't think he was going to be a good fit here at all. But now the fact that he might not even play, I checked my 2 locals, and it's off the board now. So it's kind of useless to give out. But that was my second one.
Okay, the low hanging fruit one.
Always. Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, if a book's going to sleep, you got to try to catch him.
Yeah. The word on the ground here, Michael Greller has been going around doing the scouting reports, but Spieth has not been seen yet. At least that's what I've heard. So TBD. All right, Pamela, what's your last matchup you want to throw out tonight?
Those are the only 2 that I have.
Okay. All right. I got one more. It's a guy that Capper bet top 20. How about Emiliano Grillo minus 125 over Andrew Putnam?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, just listen, like
that one
short Andrew Putnam, just these types of golf courses. I know he's really good around the green, good putter, but I just don't think this is going to work for him. I think just a Griot guy who's actually done pretty well in PGA Championships before. He's got a top 20 Baltusrol, finished 23rd at Bethpage Black. Seems like these type of setups he tends to enjoy and at least make a cut. Whereas in Putnam, I'm worried about him making the weekend. So Griot minus 125 over Andrew Putnam.
Like it. So the last one I took was literally just to kind of go against the grain because I like DJ better than Brooks. So I took DJ even money over Brooks. It was even money, all that public steam behind him. I think DJ's a different animal. Like he just is. Like, I know Brooks the major killer or whatever, but when DJ turns it on, he could still be the best golfer in the world. And this seems like a perfect course setup for him. And so I'm taking DJ over Brooks at even money to fade the public.
All right, no qualms about that. So I only have one tournament prop right now. I'm waiting for my book to put up the cut line or the winning score. I think they're being cowards right now. I don't think they know what to do. So I think they're waiting some other stuff to come out there. But I did see one. It was over under players finishing under par. I got it at under 23.5 guys. It's gone down to 21.5. Look, the three of the last 4 PGA Championships have been kind of longer, tougher sets, which I think this is probably going to be. I think the winning score is probably going to be around 8, 9 under par. Mm-hmm. Like only 12 or 13, 14 guys have been under par. The only ones that really have had a lot of guys were these soft golf setups like Bell Reeve and Baltusrol. Those were humid, hot. Guys are hitting a lot of greens this week. I don't see that being the case this week with it being so long and narrow and a lot of long approach shots. So under 23.5 guys finishing under par for the week. And as far as what I project for a cut, I probably maybe +4. It was +3 in 2013. I remember that tournament though. It was really good conditions the first 2 days. No wind. We got some rain and the field average was still 2 over par those first 2 days. And this golf course has only gotten tougher since then with the lightning and all the stuff they've done around the green. So I think probably +4 is my guess. I've seen some 73.5s in other books. Probably would lean over at that point. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Pamela, you got any first round leaders other than I know you back them all up with the ones you bet outright?
All the guys, I don't ever venture outside of that. It's the guys who I like to win and finish top 20s are the guys that I'm taking as an outright. So it's Patrick Cantlay, Sung J M, Terrell Hatton, and Xander Schauffele. I would like to put maybe like Scotty or Rory or John Rahm, but I'm just sticking to what I've always done, and I've never added outside of what I always.
Where's the fun in that? It's a major. Throw in some
Scotty. I mean, with Spieth not being there, I got to throw in one of my fellow Longhorns. So yeah, if the only player that I'm gonna add will probably be Scheffler, and it's because we've seen Rahm. I don't think he's more inclined to come out with a hot start than Scheffler is.
I don't know. He just got first round leader before he ejected at API. That was fun. Took my lunch money because I didn't have him first round leader. Super fun.
There you go. Cap, are you revealing tonight who it is, or are you gonna do a separate video?
No, we'll do it tomorrow. I just want to see what Pamela had, see if we're gonna have something similar.
Well, I
have 2 of the same.
All right. Okay, you got 2 of the same. All right. So what I think is going to happen on Thursday, it's going to be really cold in the morning. There's actually possibly might be delayed because of frost in the morning. So, but when these guys tee off, though, it's going to be low 40s, low 50s. Like the ball is going to be dead at that point. These guys are going to have trouble getting it out there. It's going to be really long golf course. It's going to warm up a little bit in the afternoon, though. So I'm going to shade. I think the first round leader is going to come in from the afternoon. So that's where all my guys are. It's
that's where
Thursday.
That's where all my guys are starting.
So Xander 30-1, Cantlay 33-1, Finau 35-1, DJ 40-1, Hatton 45-1, and then a couple longer shots. Adam Scott 75-1, playing well recently. His did well in 2013 PGA. I know there's been changes, but he's at least seen this place before. And then how about the redemption story? Mito Pereira, 110-1. He's a longer hitter. Maybe he comes out with a little bit of fire under him considering what happened last year. How about I like that as a long shot for a guy I think is really talented.
I don't mind Mito. He was one of the players. I used to back him a lot when he was on tour. He was one of my favorite players to bet. But if you look at his live stuff, he's not really doing anything to live.
Yeah, he was doing well.
He's still scarred from that swing on 18.
Yeah, so he
forever that screwed him up for life.
Yeah, he played well in Singapore. It's been up and down. He played well in Orlando, bad in Australia, well in Singapore, bad in Tulsa. So it's been up and down for him. I just believe in the guy's talent, though.
I like what you said though, that the first round leadership is likely to come out of the afternoon round, and 3 of my 4 guys are in the afternoon. So
there you go. All right. So, do you have a one and done pick?
I'm gonna go. I'm terrible at one and dones. Every single week I submit some and they're like, you already used it. So earlier you said that you were going to use ROM. I'm just going to go with ROM because I know for a fact that I have not used it.
Nice.
There you go. Yep. I have not used ROM yet. If I bet I'm 8-1, I might as well use them one and done. ROM.
I feel like, I think if you look at the email thread, I'm pretty sure I put Hatton like every week.
Just your default there. That's your default. All right, Capper, what about you?
So I use ROM at the Masters. So
congrats.
Except I've forgotten in 4 weeks. I'm like 3rd or 4th place, but I've forgot to submit for 4 weeks this year. So
okay.
So I have 2 options. I haven't decided yet. It's going to be between Cantlay and Scotty. So I still have Scotty. But I got to figure out how many more elevated events there are. How many more fucking?
There's not many. It's sure? It's Memorial, it's Travelers, and then the playoffs, and then the majors.
That's it.
It starts to get kind of dull and boring as everybody wants to get out and go golfing and not watch golf and television.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, Pamela, go ahead.
I was going to actually do what you did. Yeah, Pamela, thank you for coming on our show. It's always a pleasure having you out here. We love talking bets with you. Where can we find you? Give a couple plugs. Take it away.
Yep, everything is on the Yahoo Sportsbook on Twitter or on the Yahoo Sportsbook app. It's Yahoo Sports. Click on Sportsbook to find all the articles. But right now, I'm mostly just doing PGA. Had a fantastic XFL season. If y'all don't watch it, the championship game called for the underdog outright. And it's just, if you don't watch the XFL, I highly recommend to start getting into it next year. I really think that the XFL with Dwayne Johnson and what's her name? Danny. I think with Danny Garcia, I think with them both involved, I think the XFL is here to stay. I think it's a great league, and so I'm gonna be rooting for it every year. But yeah. Okay. And then ATP tennis on Pamela M35. We're doing some tennis right now.
All right. Yep. Very good. French Open's coming up, right?
It is in a couple of weeks.
Who's you got any sleepers for us?
Sleepers don't happen in majors, baby.
Oh, it's just single bullet Nadal.
This is a big boy tournament, and the big boys come out. No, I took Carlos Alcaraz back in March. Got a lot of heat for that one, because he's not gonna. Yeah, he's a favorite. Thank you. And so it's a more so of a number grab at this point. But I think that Novak Djokovic has a really good chance here to come out with it, because we don't even know if Nadal is going to play or not. So that is still up in the air. He has yet to play clay this season, and we haven't seen him in a few months. So we'll see what happens. But if Novak Djokovic does, that's a possible another shot at a calendar slam.
Yeah, that just gave me an idea. What if I bet the Spanish double this week? I go Rom and I go, who's the Spanish guy for the French Open? Maybe what if I do that? What are those odds? Maybe I can
parlay them. Let's do it.
Parlay that.
That sounds fun. Why not? Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. let's do it. All right. Well, thank you, Pamela. Appreciate it. All right, Capper, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Come see us, Oak Hill. Oak Hill, yes. Is that correct?
Are you kidding? Yes.
What's what? Big Oak. Big Oak.
Big Oak. Yes. At Big Oak driving range at on Friday from 7 to 9.
Friday night.
Come see us, or you know what? Come meet us out on the golf course. If you see a short guy with a backwards hat with a gin and tonic, that's probably Boston Capper. Very easy to spot in the crowd there.
Yeah, absolutely. Seriously, come hit us up on the course or at the event on Friday. I'm gonna have to whoop this youngin's Cam. He put himself as a -600 favorite. I'm almost 40 years old, so this guy better be able to outdrive me by like 50 yards to make himself like a -600 favorite. I was not a fan of that. He turned the competitive juices on.
All right. Well, that's it then.
That's it.
Thank you for listening to us during PGA Championship week. Maybe we'll see you on the course. And with that, good luck breaking your books this week.
Let's fucking go.